This video is not for the small thinkers. This video is only for big thinkers that are looking to challenge the very modality of what it means to compound your returns and conceptualize these ideas right now. What is up, guys? Kevin Cage here with another XRP update. This video is going to be short and sweet. We're going to be discussing XRP news, the fundamentals in the next videos on a daily basis in the future. But for this video in particular, I am beyond excited because this may very well be one of the most underrated videos that I have ever done. This video is not for the small thinkers. This video is only for big thinkers that are looking to challenge the very modality of what it means to compound your returns and conceptualize these ideas right now. So essentially in this video, we're going to be looking at compounding our returns and using this merely as a conceptualization exercise. So first and foremost, I have my handy dandy calculator right here. I have the XRP price chart available right here, currently at 62 cents. The price doesn't matter. We're going to be focusing on percent return. And also take note that on coinmarketcap.com, not my favorite website, but we do see that XRP's volume on a 24-hour basis is almost $2 billion. Now, last time I checked, $2 billion is a large amount. That's essentially 2,000 million. And also, for longtime viewers that have been watching this channel for the past few years, you're aware of my trading strategies. Number one, in the cryptocurrency market, I have a hold bag. My long-term hold bag, or my long-term holds is what I call them. They're part of my assets that I love. I think they have very strong fundamentals. I feel like they have phenomenal upside in the years ahead, so I simply hold them to take advantage of the long-term capital gains. I do not trade them. There's no stress. I set them in cold storage, lock them up on my cryptocurrency wallet, and don't even worry about them. Next part is I have a trading bag. Now this is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. And then the third part, of course, is I do in fact have a fiat bag of US dollar, a certain percentage of my portfolio that is in fiat, and I call it just in case money. Now that is typically to take advantage of the multiple 50% crashes per year that the cryptocurrency market does encounter. And it's common to see a handful of crashes per year of 50% crashes, if not even the legendary 70 to 90% crashes. So that is essentially just my insurance policy to take advantage of lower entries. Now, with my fiat bag, I try to hold maybe 25% of my portfolio in cash, and I know that seems silly with the rate of inflation, but there's a method to the madness, because when I'm able to buy discounted crypto that is 50% off or even 70% off, it makes a world of difference when I'm able to turn that into 300 or even 500% returns in a quick period of time. Just like DAG, in the past month alone, has done well over a 3x, and that's one of my larger bags. And right before DAG did in fact do that 300% plus return, it crashed 75%. And as you guys know, I hold a bunch of XRP for the long term. I hold it. I'm excited to leverage Flare networks and leverage Flare once I get my Flare tokens, my Spark tokens, I should say. However, I think that it's also important to be proactive. So I have a certain percentage of my portfolio that I actively trade. Now, I'm not doing 5 trades a day. They're really just large swing trades. Whenever the opportunities present themselves, I don't rush anything. I simply just wait, and if targets hit, then I will enter. I typically do not set limit orders to buy things. I don't like market makers being able to see all of my trades and entries, so I do prefer to use Caleb and Brown as well, one of the OTC brokers, so that my transactions are relatively invisible, and links are in the video description regarding that. So of course, long-term targets, we want XRP to go to double, triple, even quadruple digits someday. However, I'm sick of waiting. So what have I been doing for the past few years? Well, I actively trade as well with a certain percentage. And why is this exciting? Because the possibility of growing your money exponentially in a short period of time is actually very, very possible. Now, full disclosure, I'm not selling anything here. Just use this as a concept. You don't have to go trade right after this video, but I want you to just play with your calculator and start thinking about this when you're laying in bed at night. And I want you to get the gears turning and really start thinking about what is possible for you. So with this example, we're going to start with $10,000. Typically, I assume if you're investing in the cryptocurrency market, it is already pretty risky. I'm assuming you have at least $1,000 to $10,000 to typically start with. If you don't, I would recommend getting some side hustles, start saving, Do whatever it takes. You should have more than $1,000 to $10,000 to your name before you start throwing money in the cryptocurrency market. It's about wealth preservation. Then you learn to grow your income. So we're going to use $10,000 as a mere example for my trading bag. Now, I'm not going to be in a rush to try to get this money. I am calm, I'm composed, and I am waiting. And we're going to do little mental exercises talking about little returns. Now, of course, it's common. I mean, we're talking every several weeks we get a huge push. So let's just kind of measure some of these pushes. So right from December 31st, we got, look at this, a 70% candle. Right over here, another 90%. I mean, even over here, we had a 75% to a 200%. So nonetheless, you can see there's volatility on all ends. The same thing can be said about drops, 50%, 40%, things like this, and they happen, and they're everywhere. And could you imagine if you could simply just take advantage of some of these 40% or 50% moves in a row? Let's get the gears turning. Next up, guys, we have a quick mental exercise, and I wholeheartedly believe that at least one person watching this video right now will change their lives forever with this simple concept by applying this in the world of business in the future. This is about compounding your returns. This is the eighth wonder of the world. Albert Einstein has been quoted to say this: all the great minds, all the billionaires that you know, understand the value of compounding interest. Very few apply it though. Okay, so one thing I know that all of my subscribers are well aware of, and I really appreciate you guys, is the concept of $1,000 doubling 10 times in a row. So if you had $1,000, and this is solely for conceptualization, I know the real world does not have perfect clean returns of 100% or 50% in a row consecutively. That's just not how things work. But this is solely for conceptualization. So $1,000, and then you have a 100% return 10 times in a row. So essentially you just double it 10 times in a row. Let's count what this would be. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you're at $100,000, 8, 9, 10. So starting at $1,000, doing 10 perfect trades of 100%, you get $1 million. Now, yes, I understand this is a perfect scenario. This is Frankenmath, but please bear with me. Now let's start with a higher principal amount. So instead of $1,000, let's start with the trading bag of $10,000. And let's get 100% returns and see how many we need to get to $1 million. So here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So by just increasing the principal, we now have got it from 10 to 7 trades. So we need 7 trades of 100% return. So that's like basically getting XRP at 40 cents and selling at 80 cents a few times in a row. And obviously, I believe this is entirely possible, but the challenge comes in buying the exact bottom and selling the exact top. So, Kevin, 100%, the concept is cool, but this is still far too impractical. I agree. Let's break this goal down to make it even more tangible for everybody that is extremely logical and analytical. So instead of 100%, let's look for 50% moves. And as we can go back to the XRP price chart, I think we're well aware that 50% moves in the cryptocurrency market are quite common. And what I mean by that is they happen every few weeks, if not just every month or two. So check this out. So let's see if there's any 50% moves or examples right here. And if it was 50%, yeah, but maybe you can get 40%. Why do you have to be greedy? So right here, let's go to the bottom of this candle body. And that was about 50%. What do you know? Okay, that's one. What about this next move where it totally took off right here? Well, that was about a 100% move right there. And let's say that you didn't get the 100%. Let's just say you got 50% and you were out again and you sat on the sidelines. So you took a 50% profit and then you sat back in fiat just waiting for the next opportunity. So that's 50% right there. Okay, well, what about these? What if you bought right here and then it crashed? Well, you end up waiting and you wait a couple months, or really just, 2 months, and then what happens? You got a 100% return, if not much, much more. Let's say, though, that you just took out right away at 50%. Okay, that's fine. You wait for the next opportunity. And then again, it crashed, and you waited for it to say crash 50%. Let's say you got it around there. And what happened? Well, there's another bounce of 50%, so you probably got out again. So you're consistently getting 50%. Now, the cool thing about basic swing trades such as this is you do not only have to long the market, you can actually also short the market, meaning you can bet that the prices are going down. So every time the price is going down, if you sold before that, you can buy back and increase your bag, sometimes even doubling it. And yes, I know many of us have done this in the community. Examples would be, say, selling XRP when it was at 50 cents, and then you bought it back when it was 25 cents. And I know if we go back to the terrible, terrible years of torture, this happened a few times. At least I'd say between, 20 to 60 cents, this range, capitalizing on 20%, 30%, 50% moves on, every few months is a very, very common thing for a lot of us. So now you're able to open up the opportunities and make money longing and shorting the market. Very interesting. Do you see how the possibilities start increasing? Now let's go back, and so we have that $10,000 balance, and we're gonna just say, well, yeah, 7 trades of 100% returns can get you $1 million, but that's way too good to be true. That could take 1 or 2 years. You're gonna complain about making $1 million in 1 to 2 years? I surely wouldn't. There's people that brag about making $100,000 a year. It takes them 10 years to make $1 million. Yikes. Perspective is a hell of a thing. And whenever somebody calls me crazy, I take that as a compliment from a small-minded person. And if someone says this takes 2 whole years to do and get 7 100% returns by just waiting for dips and waiting to capitalize on different moves, we don't have to use XRP. I'm just using XRP because it's a highly liquid digital asset that, in my opinion, is going to be here to stay. And as I showed in the beginning of this video, the volume is sufficient, up 27% right now, almost $2 billion on a 24-hour basis. Now we can go back and look at some other assets. The same thing can be done with Bitcoin. However, I don't think it is as volatile per se. So I like choosing XRP. Easy, round numbers to use. The market cap is smaller than Ethereum, which means that there's more upside for it. And yes, if you wanted to use microcaps, be my guest. But typically with these amounts, especially if you do get $1 million bags and you're doing large buy and sells left and right, I don't want to influence the price. I want to be a ghost. I want to be hidden. I don't want anyone to know I'm there. So I typically like to sit in assets that have market capitalizations of well over $1 billion, or at least I'd say 500 million plus. Make sense? So we're going to finish up this video just with one final calculation. And let's say, Kevin, you're so crazy, and I love to be called crazy, by the way. And let's say instead of doing 7 trades of 100% returns with $10,000, let's do $10,000, and let's be conservative. Let's say that instead of 100% trades or 50%, let's just say we're looking for 30%. Every time you're up 30%, you sell into US dollar. So ready? So what would that be? Well, it's 1.3 because it's the 100%, the initial investment times 30%. So let's just count. I don't care if this takes 50 times to get to $1 million. That's 50 basic moves waiting for the opportunity to present themselves to turn 10K into $1 million. That's a 100x my investment. You're not going to get that anywhere else. This is the power of compounding interest. So here we go. $10,000 with tiny 30% returns. Now you could of course add different variables. Maybe you get a 100% return or 50% return every once in a while. Nonetheless, this is super conservative for all of you very, very conservative people. And let's see if this sounds good. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Less than 20 trades with tiny 30% returns. In a perfect scenario, yes, I'm aware of even 30% returns without losing your initial amount or principal can still get you over $1 million, a 100x your investment. This video is not to make you go trade your life savings away. This is just to talk about the concepts, to get the gears turning. This video is made to inspire you guys, and I hope it did just that. Now, not to seem too crazy, but let's finish up with a bigger example. We talk about 100K. Well, let's talk about 100K now, and let's just talk about doubling this bad boy 10 times. And let's see the math that we get. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. $100 million. What? Now, of course, when you're playing with big boy money like this is just completely outlandish and pretty crazy because now you have considerations of actual liquidity in the system. $100 million being sold, even a market sell, would tank any of these assets to an extent. So that's just something you have to consider. That's why we're sticking with small numbers, well under $1 million. But I just wanted to show you what is possible. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to share this on Twitter, and I will catch you in the next one.